Hello everyone and welcome to Purgatory. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the current meta in the competitive Splatoon 3 community. I was watching the latest Splatsville showdown when I noticed something. There are a lot of Splashamatics and sloshing machines, and I thought to myself, this is very concerning. Of course, there have been some Splatanas, and there are 56 gals, respect to the Tri-Slosher and Team Ascension, by the way, in the mix, but I have always noticed the Splash and Slosh were always common appearances. Now, I usually don't make these types of videos about weapon balance, especially in the competitive community, because I don't really invest my life in the comp life like people like ProChara do. I let them handle that usually. I try to cover the latest in what the game has to offer, along with offering advice when it comes to traversing maps and exploring playstyles and doing personal challenges. So this video is coming from a viewer's perspective of all the fun competitive stuff for Splatoon 3. There is nothing wrong with using the same weapons and whatnot, because truthfully speaking, there are kits that don't work for a competitive play, and right now the game doesn't offer that many great kits. There are good ones, but nothing really matches the kits that the Splashamatic and the sloshing machine have, unfortunately making it a not so fun experience to watch the events for a long period of time. While the people working behind these streams really know how to keep my interest sometimes, I always think of the weapon meta. Before we go any further in this video, if you don't know what a meta is, meta stands for most effective tactics available. To sum it up, it's the best thing to currently be in something's balancing, or for COD players, think about the time that the Growl and the Bruin were almost game-breaking in Warzone. That was way back. I guess another way is thinking of the best method to a solution and execute that way. Anyways, we will always go through a phase of metas. That is just how things have went. If they nerf the Splash and Sloshing machine, then players will go digging back in the data and pull out 2 or more things to use and just use those things. If you buff something to be better than the Splash or Slosh, well, then that becomes the meta. The scale is very hard to keep even. Even balancing the gear can cause a crack in the surface. All of this was said to bring me to the point of this video. I want to know what you guys think of the current meta or balancing, and what do you think they could do to make it better. I like to talk about these things because it not only educates me to what things are really good, but also help provide feedback to current solutions. But I digress. Let me go ahead and say my part, and you guys can let me know what you think of it. I think all they really have to do is pull a Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 version, and just make everything better. On the surface, that doesn't provide much, but let me explain. Don't overall decrease time to kill, because it feels really good where it is now. Just bring some classes up with better kits, or kits that reward a role in comp and in pubs. Nerf some of the abilities that make the current meta almost exploitable. Make appropriate changes to the current weapons that are in the meta, and whatever they are when watching this video. Right now, it's the Splash and Sloshing machine. What those balances are depend on the data that only Nintendo has. I would personally love to see the NZAP get a more aggressive kit. That would bring it up to par with the other shooters we have, but also buff the shooters. I would personally say to buff their movement speed, but only slightly, just a bit more to help you close those gaps without swimming a little easier, especially when you have to deal with stepping in enemy ink. Also, buff the things that are making said weak weapons so weak. Take the Tacticooler for an example. There is a lot of good that come from it, but you really don't see it be used in competitive play. That is because Booyah Bomb, Missiles, Killer Whale 5.1, and Crab Tank are easily more useful than that special. I think Crab Tank could use a nerf in general, but Tacticooler could be adjusted to have it combined well with team specials and feel more of a useful support tool than what it is currently. The benefits are great, but not enough to warrant me to use that weapon in a highly competitive environment. Just make these weapons feel better. And overall, that is how I feel about the current meta in Splatoon 3. I am sure we will probably see a big balance change sooner rather than later. There have been a lot of events going on, so I assume that Nintendo is waiting for those to be over to apply the adjustments made. Either way, I would take this over the Ink Armor, Splattershot Jr., and Bomb Rush meta any day. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you want to further join the discussion, you can either follow me on socials or you can share this with your friends. Links to my socials are in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.